Yo, this is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And our sponsors are Alpha Claims and Hire Birmingham, the leading and best accident management company. Get a replacement car anywhere in 1 hour. I really appreciate you joining me today, and it seems that the Daily Mail have just discovered that drill music is on Spotify. A big article that's being shared today is about the Daily Mail's reaction to the music streaming platform having playlists that promote drill music. They say in the headline that a murderer, a rapist and a torturer on the top of a Spotify drill playlist. The music giant that made £5 billion last year is accused of glamorising violence by featuring a string of criminals in one of its official music charts. In this article, they have picked out 3 artists specifically. One is SJ from OFB, the other is Young Dizz from Beckton, and the third one is Lat, who is on Mixtape Madness. They say at least 10 of the 30 tracks on the music streaming giant's Sound of UKDrill playlist involves thugs that have got convictions for offences that include murder, rape and torture. Jayden O'Neill, also known as SJ, was part of the group OFB that featured on the HB Freestyle. What they don't mention is that this is 2019, this playlist is years old. The song has been streamed 5.7 million times, and the video shows the rappers delighting, they say, in the stabbing of rivals. Jayden was part of a gang armed with knives and a sword that chased Kamali Link, a 19-year-old father of one, through the streets of London before stabbing him to death inside a hair salon. He was also offered a £150,000 record deal while he was on remand for that crime, they said in the paper. There was a lot of evidence to suggest he wasn't actually the murderer and was just present during the murder, and this is why he got given 21 years. The other artist that is featured is Donkoh, who's also known as Young Dizz. His song Drill and Repent, which is quite old, is number 24 they say, and he's serving 12.5 years for kidnap and torture of a 16-year-old boy. Police believe the 24-year-old male who performs under the name Young Dizz groomed other teens to torture and attack gang rivals in East London. And we covered both of their stories on the channel as well. The final rapper they mention is Lat, also known as Latimer Richardson, 19 years old, who is currently serving 4 years for the rape of an underage girl. He featured on Mixtape Madness Mad About Bars, and Spotify last week said the number of paying subscribers has risen by 24%, and the Daily Mail accused them of encouraging gang violence. Last night, a campaigner called Jen Locke, who works for a group called Lives Instead of Knives, described the inclusion of violent criminals in the playlist as irresponsible, adding our young people will see rapists and murderers on the top of the charts and idolise them. They think that this is what they can do to obtain success. Companies like Spotify are profiting from gang warfare. They say the UKDrill playlist, The Sound of Drill, was created using an algorithm that monitors the popularity of tracks. These include The Things by Likan Akinsoji, who is also known as CB. He was jailed for 23 years back in 2019 when he was caught on a ride out with a shotgun and he aimed it at the police. We also covered that story as well. They also mention 1011, also known as CGM, who received a banning order and stopped from referring to gang members in tracks or sending digs at enemies. And they also mention other people that have been convicted of crimes but are no longer serving time for it. And at the end of the day, in this country, they do believe that as soon as you've come out of prison and served the time, you are now no longer a criminal. But it seems that that isn't the case in a lot of senses. Of course, all of these cases are very controversial, and especially with the rape case, that is something that is not approved of in the culture of the industry. In relation to removing the songs of rapists, that is something a lot of people agree with. And of course, SJ and Young Dizz are currently serving prison sentences at this time, and there is a lot of debate over whether it's okay for rappers to be able to release music from in prison. Because at the end of the day, we don't condone any violence or gang activity, but we always support people that are making any sort of move away from that. And music, no matter even if it is controversial and sometimes provocative, it is definitely better than actively being on road and doing them things. Making a career in music can mean that they move away from what they're doing. This is highlighted, I feel, by the fact that the record companies are responsible for what artists do. They are responsible for what they encourage artists to do. In this example from the newspaper City AM, it's an interview with Relentless record owner Shabs Joban Putra, where they are discussing how there is little connection between the song Baby Shark and drill rapper Headie One, but the first one is a catchy children's tune on YouTube, and the drill rapper from Tottenham was jailed for a knife possession before releasing a chart-topping album last month. Despite the differences, Baby Shark and Headie One have one thing in common. They are both signed to Relentless Records. The record label has prided itself on spotting the hottest new music trends and taking them mainstream and cashing in on the success. So this goes to show the fact that a record company does not care about the effects of things that happen on the street. That is the last thing they care about. The only thing they care about is making money. So when it comes to a children's nursery song, they can make money from it, they'll buy that. If it comes from a drill song that may encourage violence, they would encourage that too. They don't care about your communities. It is just about making money, and that is the way that the business plan works. Of course, Relentless Records has done a lot for the music industry, and they started back in 1999 with artists like Artful Dodger and Rewind. They also got Daniel Bedingfield's Gotta Get Through This and worked with the likes of Solid Crew with their song 21 Seconds. Their company is expected to turn over £10 million this year as well. And it's fast approaching 21 years in the industry. But now Relentless is now owned by Sony Records. So Sony Records now pushes all the money into Relentless to find the talent and also to generate income. So Sony is even bigger than Relentless. Sony make computer games, Sony make films, Sony make your television that you watch in your house. Maybe you're watching this on a Sony television. So the question is where does the actual buck stop? Where does it go to? Is it the artists that are completely responsible? Is it the record labels that should be encouraging the artists? Or is it also the fans that should be encouraging the artists to put out constructive messages and less gang promotion? Because at the end of the day, it is no secret, everybody on that playlist will have had a criminal record at some point in their life. That is the way it works. But in a counteracting argument, which I was doing some research on this, I found an article on digitalmusicnews.com, and this was back in 2014, and I double checked this, and all of these bands are still available online. They found that 37 neo-Nazi hate groups were available to stream on Spotify, and these bands are known for spreading hatred and racism, and this is openly allowed to be streamed online. And I know the Daily Mail has never covered anything like this. And this is definitely going to be the counteracting argument as to say that why is this not across the board? If you disapprove of people speaking negatively about their lives and what they've experienced on the street, then surely promoting hate speech when we know for a fact that there is hate crimes connected to the promotion of hate speech, it should be exactly the same. And that is where I feel some frustration comes from in the eyes of some of the fans. They don't want the hypocrisy, the same way where Wiley gets taken off Twitter for being anti-Semitic, but Katie Price still has platforms to spread her hatred. So that a lot of questions have been raised on freedom of speech and also what is encouraging the children. Does this help? Is it constructive? Can the children separate the right from the wrong and make better decisions for what they've done? Being as all of these people featured here have not exactly had the best turnout in their lives. They've all suffered the consequences of what they've chose to do. So I really want to hear what people have to say on these stories. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, and I'll be back again very shortly with some more news. Peace.